Welcome to the Friction to Freedom podcast, where the mission is to support you as you tap into the best and highest expression of yourself. My name is JanetDThomas, and I want to welcome you to today's episode. Now, this podcast is all about the inner game. I happen to believe that internal shifts can lead to external success. And we're talking about these internal shifts. And that's what this is all about. So I'm very excited that you're with me today for this. Now, today's topic has to do with friction when it comes to other people. Why can there be so much friction in my life when it comes to dealing with other people? What's this about? Well, it's a big subject. So, my perspective on it is actually going to be we're actually going to do this in two parts. Today, I'm going to talk about some basic general information about the brain. And then in part two, we're going to put this together. You might get a case of the no wonders. After getting this information, you may be like, well, no wonder why I have this friction with other people. No wonder why I see so many people having friction with, gosh, not only themselves, but then with each other. So maybe this might shed a little bit of clarity on that and give you some food for thought on how to then be able to shift it. Okay. So this first information today is going to be about the brain, our wonderful brain, and how it functions. Understanding this might give you some clarity next time on how this can happen with friction. Anyway, how the brain learns is like this. Let's say that you have a pattern of thought or behavior or activity. The more that you do it, it actually technically changes the structure and the functioning of your brain. You see, you've got what are called cell bodies. The cell bodies are gray matter. Gray matter is designed to reach out to other gray matter to be able to make you do something more efficiently, functioning more efficiently. So that's the whole point of where the gray matter goes in the brain when there's a certain activity. And it prunes back where there's no more activity to be had in another area. Those resources are going to go to where you're using them. So let me give you an example of this. I have a friend who has an older sister who actually born and raised in the United States, but left and moved to Germany. She went to Germany. She got married, had a family, stayed many, many years, decades actually, in Germany. So when she came back to visit in the United States, she actually had issue trying to remember certain English words when she was communicating because she was so used to speaking in German that she lost some of her language skills in English. But this is simply how the brain works. When there's no more activity in a certain way, those resources are going to be put where there is activity in order to make those stronger and faster and more efficient. Now, this happens so much so that the more you repeat something, the more automated it becomes. And that's where it absolutely maps in your brain that activity. Okay. So there is, when you are doing a certain thing again and again, there is a choreography happening in the background in the brain and the firing of neural activity to make it more efficient, to make it easier, to make it stronger and faster, and then actually to make it automatic. Think about if you look at a toddler and they're learning how to walk, it is a process. You can crawl first and then getting the balance right and falling over and then balancing again to the point where you can take a step. And you take that step one more time and it's no longer scary. It's starting to become predictable because the same thing is happening. You take one step and then the next step and the next step. And as you continue practicing it, before you know it, it becomes automated. You just get up and you start walking, and then you start running, and you just go from there. So that's the way that we learn. Now, the brain loves to work very, very efficiently, exerting as little energy as is needed in order to get something done. So much so that the brain, in its ability to become more efficient, wants to predict behavior. It becomes used to the idea of, well, this is going to work a certain way because it's worked this way before. This is how it's going to work. So we walk around, all of us walk around with prediction scripts that in the future, the behavior is going to be exactly as it is right now. And that becomes automated. So, what can happen when we get thrown a curveball? This information might be able to assist you in recognizing that, oh, when something didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go, that prediction script, you might be able to recover a little bit more quickly than if you didn't know about the prediction scripts. We're walking around on automatic pilot in a lot of ways, so often, so many of us. But you got to keep in mind that this is how the brain works. It likes to be automated, it likes to be efficient, it likes to predict future activity based upon what's been done again and again and again and again. So, the beautiful thing about learning is it's all about time, focus, and repetition. The more you focus on something throughout time and with repetition, think about learning an instrument. Like if you're learning the piano and you need to find out where middle C is, and you don't know where middle C is, but you learn where middle C is, and you keep pressing middle C, you see the way it looks, you hear it. The next time you come back to it, it's going to be a little bit easier. It's not going to be as challenging because the brain already has an idea of where to go with that. And the more you do it, the more familiar it becomes, and then the more automated it is. Now, I am repeating this, as you could tell, again and again, simply because this is how we learn, with time, focus, and repetition. So I invite you to take a look and think about exploring in your own life where you may have these prediction scripts. Where is where are things working that are so automated that you're just kind of on automatic pilot? I know in my case, I have a morning routine. Like I will wake up, I will work out, I will do a meditation and prepare before, prepare for my day. That's kind of how I prepare for my day. And that is predictable and it's easy because I'm doing it again and again. Now, what could happen? Let's say that this happened not too long ago where the washing machine flooded. So here I am doing my morning routine, and then there's a mini flood in the house, and I have to stop mid I won't say mid sentence, but I have to stop mid exercise and go tend to this disruption. So it's an interruption, but how quickly can I adapt to it if I'm used to, and my body and my mind is used to predicting how things are going to go? When you get thrown a curveball, how quickly can you bounce back? So that's the question. Just to kind of explore this week where your predictable behavior is, where you anticipate things to run smoothly because they typically run that way, and notice what happens. You might get dysregulated when something happens that you did not expect. So, this is about really learning how to adapt and adjust so that we can actually sail through life's changes with ease and with understanding. So this is the first part of this, is kind of just the fundamentals when it comes to how the brain works. And next time what we're going to do is put this together with the human element. But here's a little bit of bonus information. Just as you have your prediction scripts running automated in the background, we all do. Every single person, because this is just how the brain works. Everybody has a set of prediction scripts. Everyone has a sense of being on automatic pilot, because that's what's more efficient for the brain's functioning. So think about that. If you're walking around with prediction scripts and everyone else is walking around with prediction scripts, you think there might be a little friction from time to time with some curveballs? Maybe a little bit. We're going to talk about that next time. And in the meantime, if you have any questions or thoughts or something that you want to share, please do feel free to reach out to me on either social media or my website. Drop me a line. Somebody just slammed a door. I see, that was not anticipated, and I didn't expect that to happen. And a part of me wanted to just stop this tape, stop the filming of it, and then do it over again because of that. But you know what? Somebody has the right to close a door where I live. So they closed the door. I'm going to adjust and adapt and just keep it moving. There's a sample of something that's unpredictable that could be non-preferred, but you just kind of roll with it. Anyway, so much of that for today. Thank you very, very much for joining me, and I look forward to part 2 of this discussion, where we're going to put something together that might blow your mind. Take good care.